This is a 2005 Jaguar XJ8 L. It doesn't matter much, but I'm here to talk about a parking brake fault. The house thermometer told me it was 7 degrees, so I'm sorry I did not record a video during the whole process, but I'll actually try to record another one. I had a parking brake fault, and my parking brake would not release. And so the brake light came on, like you see it on the left side of the dashboard. Let me turn this down. Okay, so the light came on, and then the amber or orange light that's on the left of this usually comes on the left of that one. That was on as well. And usually this is how you release the you engage a parking brake. Just assume it's like your conventional handle. Pull it up. So just pull this up and that engages. So I'm gonna pull it up. It's engaged. Push it down, just like pushing down a normal handbrake lever, and that releases it. So I'm gonna push it down and it releases. So that's what it should do. But yesterday it did not do that. One thing I should also mention is that it was about 4 degrees when I tried to start my car yesterday, and it took quite a long time to crank to start. It was quite a long crank, but it did start on the first try. It just took quite long, and that's when my parking brake fault light came on. So I know some of these modules are affected by low battery voltage. I did not want to go the route of disconnecting my battery, so I chose not to do that. I tried to work around. I did not, honestly. I just wasn't motivated enough to start resetting my radio stations and my seat and all that. Doesn't seem like too much, but 3 memory seatings, I didn't want to try to work my memory for that. So yesterday, anyway, it was odd. That light would come on when I pushed it down, actually, and when I pulled it up, which should usually engage it, it would release it. That light would come on. So it was odd. It was odd. And regardless of what I did, how many times I started the car, the first start, even today, after sitting for a long time, would take quite a long time to turn over. But all subsequent starting attempts were pretty fast and normal. No matter how many times I tried that, it would not reset. So I had to go and just try to find a way to there's a module, I read through the manual, and just bypass it, act like I'm giving it power. So I'll try to do very little to it, actually, and you might actually get a cool experiment. So let's see. I'll turn the car off, and I'll actually I'll put the phone in the trunk, and you'll hear the parking brake engaging when I turn the car off. So, hopefully the sound came out. The parking brake is engaged at this point, and the parking brake module, here it is, this guy, this is it. Usually sits here on my car, at least. According to the manual, like some of them usually sit underneath this rear electronic module. But you have a fastener. It goes right here. Pull this guy off to the side. And I'm sorry that the view keeps changing. Then I pulled this guy. I just pulled the bolts because I wanted to work with it and figure out how to actually pull this module down. And this is how you disconnect that. There's a flap down here. This guy. So you push down on this flap, releases the lock mechanism. Right, I hope that's clear. And you pull it out. So I'll do that. It's got red and white wire, brown and white wire, green and white wire and a black wire. And the wires of interest to us today are the red and white one and the green and white one. So my glove got snagged there, so how do we remove that? Good. Okay, so these two wires are going to be here and here. Okay, so I'll connect some jumper wires I have laying around. Green white is the top left and red white is the bottom right. So let's do that. So there you go, my best attempt at that. So that's male spade connectors, female, and it just, you know, stuck my jumper wires in there. Green for green, just for memory purposes, and red for red. And I'll try to do it as red for red and green for green, or rather red for positive. And I'm trying to find a creative way to actually attach this while still showing the video. There you go. It's pretty crude, but I only do this because I love you, YouTube and Jaguar forums. So positive, you know, red to positive and green to negative, and stick that. Listen out for the motor that is connected. Red to positive, that engages the e-brake. And I mean, I could just tell from the sound of the motor. I'll switch it around. Okay, so that's connected. This time the red wire from the harness is going to the negative terminal of the battery, and the green wire of the harness is going to the positive. Listen out for the motor. That is the e-brake disconnected. So what I'm going to do is pull these guys out of there. Connect the module again. So the module is connected again. And get into the car. Back in the car. Okay, usual foot on the brake pedal. Start the car. Wants me to apply the park brake, so I'm going to go here, pull it up to apply it. So it should come again. Pulled it up. There you go. It engaged. Okay. Put it in drive. It released. I can feel my the brake pedal being pushed up against my foot. I mean, the brake pedal is coming up. So here we go. I'm gonna turn the car off, and you should see the e-brake engage again, and that's what you heard during the beginning of the video. It was, and actually what I like to do is, and maybe I might need to change this method, but on a hill, I hold my foot on the brake all the way, for the put it in park, you know, turn it off, wait for the e-brake to engage, which you just did. Then a release. I just do that to relieve, you know, to make sure that the transmission does not have to bear all the braking effort of the car. Well, I'm paranoid actually. Let me start it, make sure it runs fine. Okay, so there you go. Start it, put it in drive, releases the e-brake. We're in business. The reason I said I might need to change that method is because, well, when it's cold and I'm parking on an incline, maybe that's what happened. Maybe my brake calipers froze. I don't know, but I know automatic cars with conventional emergency brakes or hand brakes or foot brakes. I know a lot of them are still parked on inclines without people necessarily applying the e-brake, so you know, it's probably not too bad. It's just that I don't really have a choice with the Jag. As soon as you turn it off, the e-brake engages. So anyway, let's go to the back and put this thing back together. This is me just bolting it back on. You don't need too much force. It didn't really take much to break those bolts loose. As I said, 2 bolts, 2 10mm bolts. Push this guy's back in there. Okay, it was forced in. I'm gonna use a pry tool to straighten this. Okay, there we go. Looking good. It was a little difficult for me to take this off at the beginning, so I removed more fasteners than the manual calls for. This is the main fastener that you're concerned about. I removed this one as well as this one, and I pulled this plastic trim to be able to remove that carpeted trim. Put my tools away and go back in the house. Happy that I fixed it. And I use a Nissan 21mm lug wrench because I changed my lug nuts from the Jaguar type. It kept giving me trouble. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thanks.